TikTok just invented the most toxic dating trend yet, and it's called swag gap relationships. Women are literally warning each other about dating men with less style than them because apparently your boyfriend looking like he works in IT while you serve looks is relationship suicide. The trend started when TikTokers began sharing horror stories about showing up to events looking fire while their partners look like they just rolled out of bed. But here's where it gets dark. Women are saying their partner's lack of swag actually made them jealous and insecure. One creator claimed every relationship failed because of a swag gap, and that her exes resented her for having more style. This isn't about fashion, it's about men's fragile egos being threatened by women who outshine them. The fact that women have to dim their light to protect men's feelings shows how deep male insecurity runs. When did looking good become a relationship liability? Are we really supposed to dress down to make men comfortable?
Candace Owens is being sued by French First Lady Brigitte Macron for spreading conspiracy theories that she was born male, and the misogyny is absolutely unhinged. For months, Owens has been pushing this bizarre claim on her podcast, demanding scientific proof of Macron's biological sex. This isn't just transphobia, it's weaponized misogyny disguised as conspiracy theory. The attack on Brigitte Macron follows a disturbing pattern where powerful women are dehumanized by questioning their very womanhood. From Michelle Obama to Serena Williams, successful women constantly face these degrading attacks. Owens is using transphobia as a tool to tear down a woman she politically disagrees with. The lawsuit seeks scientific evidence to prove Macron's biological sex, which is both humiliating and unnecessary. This conspiracy theory gained traction because it combines two things certain men hate: powerful women and transgender people. The fact that anyone believes this garbage shows how easily misogyny spreads when wrapped in political rhetoric. When did demanding proof of womanhood become acceptable discourse?
Sean Diddy Combs just got sentenced to over 4 years in prison for sex trafficking, and the judge's words about violence against women hit different. Judge Arun Subramanian said, "Exploitation and violence against women must be met with real accountability to promote respect for women." Finally, a male judge who gets it. For decades, Diddy allegedly transported women and male escorts across state lines for drug-fueled sex parties, treating human beings like party favors. The case exposed how powerful men use their status to abuse and exploit women systematically. What's particularly telling is how long this went on. Multiple accusers dating back to 1991 means this was an open secret in the industry. The entertainment world protected a predator for 30 years while women suffered in silence. His conviction sends a message that money and fame can't shield you from consequences forever. But let's be real. How many other powerful men are still out there doing the same thing? The Diddy case isn't an anomaly. It's a glimpse into how the entertainment industry really treats women. Justice delayed isn't justice denied, but it's still justice delayed.
The first openly transgender actress nominated for an Oscar is facing massive backlash, and the hate is exactly what you'd expect. Carla Sofia Gascon made history with her Best Actress nomination for Emilia Perez. But instead of celebration, people are demanding the Academy revoke her nomination. The controversy exploded when old tweets surfaced showing offensive comments. But let's be honest, this backlash isn't really about tweets. It's about men being threatened by transgender women succeeding in spaces they think belong to them. The same people celebrating male actors playing women in comedies are now outraged by an actual woman being recognized for her talent. Gascon needed extra security at the Oscars because of death threats, which tells you everything about how society really feels about transgender success. The irony is that the film industry has always been about transformation and performance. Yet when a transgender woman transforms her life and performs brilliantly, suddenly it's controversial. This backlash reveals how conditional acceptance really is. When did existing while talented become a crime? Are we really this threatened by people living their truth?
Social media is convincing women their relationships are toxic when they're actually just normal. And therapy speak is ruining love. A new study shows 52% of social media users doubt their relationship's health because of trending psychological terms they don't understand. Women are diagnosing their boyfriends as narcissists for forgetting to text back, calling normal disagreements gaslighting, and labeling every boundary as manipulation. This trend is particularly dangerous because it's teaching women to pathologize male behavior instead of communicating. The rise of therapy speak on TikTok has created a generation that thinks every relationship problem is abuse. Women are being told that if their partner doesn't read their mind, it's emotional neglect. If he disagrees with them, it's invalidation. If he needs space, it's stonewalling. This pseudo-psychology is destroying healthy relationships by convincing women that normal human flaws are red flags. The real tragedy is that women are losing the ability to distinguish between actual abuse and everyday relationship challenges. When did every relationship become a diagnosis? Are we creating problems where none exist?
Dating apps just invented zip coding, and it might be the most classist trend yet. People are literally rejecting matches based on their zip codes, using location as a proxy for income and social status. This new form of digital discrimination is particularly brutal for men who live in less affluent areas, regardless of their actual character or potential. The trend reveals how dating has become a socioeconomic screening process disguised as romance. Women are using zip codes to filter out men they deem beneath their social class, creating a caste system in dating. The cruelest part is that zip codes often reflect family wealth, not personal achievement. A man can be brilliant, kind, and hardworking, but if he lives in the wrong neighborhood, he's automatically disqualified. This trend is particularly damaging because it reinforces the idea that a man's worth is tied to his economic status. Dating apps are already brutal for average men, and now they're being judged before they even get a chance to speak. The zip coding trend shows how superficial modern dating has become. When did your address become more important than your character? Are we really this shallow?
Bio-baiting is the latest dating trend that's basically catfishing with extra steps. And it's mostly women doing it to men. The trend involves creating misleading dating profiles that present a completely different personality than reality. Women are crafting bios that suggest they're low maintenance and chill, then revealing their true high maintenance selves after matching. This deceptive practice is particularly cruel because it preys on men's desire for genuine, uncomplicated connections. The bio-baiters justify their behavior by claiming they need to attract men first, then show their real personality later. But this strategy backfires because it builds relationships on false foundations. Men who fall for bio-baiting often feel betrayed and manipulated when the truth emerges. The trend reflects a deeper problem with how women view dating, as a game to be won, rather than a genuine search for connection. Bio-baiting also reveals the pressure women feel to be someone they're not to attract male attention. The irony is that this deception ultimately hurts everyone involved. When did authenticity become a dating disadvantage? Are we so afraid of rejection that we'd rather lie than be ourselves?
People are turning to AI for dating advice instead of talking to actual humans. And it's creating a generation of relationship robots. The trend started when people realized AI doesn't judge them for their dating failures or give them the harsh truths their friends might share. But here's the problem. AI doesn't understand human emotions, cultural context, or the messy reality of relationships. People are getting relationship advice from algorithms that have never experienced heartbreak, jealousy, or love. The AI dating coaches are particularly popular with men who struggle with social interactions, but they're learning scripted responses instead of genuine communication skills. Women are also using AI to craft the perfect breakup texts and analyze their partner's messages for hidden meanings. This trend is creating relationships that feel artificial because people are following AI-generated scripts instead of being authentic. The reliance on AI for dating advice reveals how disconnected we've become from our own emotional intelligence. When did we decide that robots understand love better than humans? Are we outsourcing our hearts to machines?
A Texas professor was fired after a viral video showed a student confronting her about gender identity in children's literature, and academic freedom just died. The student filmed herself interrupting the class, claiming the content was inappropriate, and the university immediately caved to the online mob. This incident represents a terrifying new reality where any student with a phone can destroy a professor's career by creating viral outrage content. The professor was discussing diverse characters in children's books, something that's been part of literature for decades. But now educators are walking on eggshells, terrified that any mention of identity or diversity will end their careers. The student who filmed this probably thought she was being heroic, but she's actually part of a larger movement to sanitize education and silence women in academia. The university's quick termination shows how institutions prioritize public relations over academic integrity. This viral vigilantism is particularly dangerous because it targets female professors who are already underrepresented in higher education. When did learning become controversial? Are we really going to let TikTok determine what gets taught in universities?
Netflix executives are pushing transgender content in children's shows, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is having a complete meltdown about it. The Congresswoman posted that Netflix is pushing woke Democrat gender ideology and non-binary propaganda onto kids, proving once again that some people see inclusion as indoctrination. The controversy centers around shows that feature LGBTQ characters, which apparently threatens traditional masculinity so much that grown adults are boycotting cartoons. This backlash reveals how fragile some people's worldview really is. They're literally threatened by animated characters who don't conform to their narrow definition of normal. The irony is that these same people claim to support free speech and parental choice, but only when it aligns with their beliefs. Netflix's decision to include diverse characters isn't propaganda, it's reflecting the reality that LGBTQ people exist and deserve representation. The fact that showing transgender characters in children's content causes this much outrage shows how far we still have to go. When did cartoon characters become political weapons? Are we really this scared of children learning that different people exist?